Hello, welcome in. This is the start of Warframe. Um, so yeah. Uh, Hopefully we don't run into any technical difficulties or anything of that sort. But yeah, this is Warframe, and this is what I'm going to be trying to do. Like I said in the time frame, not time frame, but just see how far I get before I kind of just give up. Because knowing me, that's likely to happen at some point. I do like toggle. Well, not for the distance, so. Alright, this is fine. Okay. Settings. Make sure I'm still recording. So, we're gonna see pretty much just where we go from here, that kind of thing. It shouldn't take too long. If you don't know the game, well, welcome in. Go ahead and listen to that.
For generations you've slept. No purpose. No call to wake you. Grenier. Seeds from the ruins of the old war, swallowing colonies whole. But there's still hope. The Tenno. Monuments of an ancient warrior caste. Scattered across frail worlds. Together, they fought back. Bringing an end to an empire. Then they left. Forgotten. Like a dream.
And so that last scene right there, where it was his fucking turn and he didn't get to do shit. So that was his
Wake
goal.
up, Tenno.
Just FYI, but he should have had a longer scene, like Mag and Excalibur both did. He didn't get enough screen time, in my personal opinion. So that's kind of sad and also kind of gay. I don't know if this actually does anything. But, like, this one's kind of cool. But we'll keep it original, just for the sake of things. Well, I mean, I guess it couldn't hurt, because worst case scenario, I just have to revert them back to original, right? So basically, Excalibur here, well, you've basically just seen what they do. Volt is electricity. He runs fast, he shocks people, he has a shield, just that kind of thing. Magnetics, just everything. She pulls people, she just does things. And then, like I said, like Excalibur, he's pretty much just samurai warrior type, I guess. And so, yeah, he just does some things. He attacks 10% faster when wielding swords, and that does have an importance, actually. I'll explain why. He deals 10% increased damage and attacks. I guess. Okay, so yeah, he's basically attack frame. Probably the best starter frame to start any new player on, I'm not gonna lie. So I guess you could think of it like basic games where you have 3 options. He would be the warrior. I'd probably say this is the mage, and then this is the ranger, but I could have that backwards depending on how you want to think about it. But anyway, we're gonna see if that sticks. Yeah, I definitely want to know if this, like, legitimately stays or not, or if it's just for effect. Confirm, and we starting. Okay, so it looks like it stayed. Interesting. This wasn't an option whenever I have ever played, so.
Pity she's too late. You're my prize now, Tenno. No. We are taking this one with us.
What has he done to you? I can't lose another Tenno. I'm surging your Warframe's power systems. Quick, use your power. Defend yourself. extraction ship is waiting for you, but the Grineer will be hunting you. Arm yourself.
So you remember when I said use the swords, yeah? Well, this is why it was important. And now, you understand. I'll explain basically everything I do as I do it. But I'm not going to tell you what the controls are or anything. You'll have to figure that out for yourself. If you couldn't already tell, I'm on console, specifically PlayStation. But you probably knew that if you've ever seen my channel before. So.
There's a cache.
And if you haven't seen my channel before, well, welcome in. If you're watching this because you knew what Warframe was and you know that, like, hey, Warframe's cool. Well, I hate to break it to you, you probably aren't going to be too into this series of videos, actually, because, I don't know. Anyway. Fucking... Where the fuck? Oh. I have ass aim, what the fuck? Anyway, this is basically tutorial for now. This particular video is probably going to be the one you were least interested in. This is basically just me playing the beginning all over again, so if you're new to the game but you still know the game prior to this here, you don't want to watch this, probably. If it's been a minute, or you play OG and didn't realize that they switched some things, because you probably have noticed by now if they did switch some things. I believe I started in, like, 2018, 2017, somewhere around there. But I'm here now in 2025, so... Again, fresh account, obviously. This is the entire account's purpose.
You made it. There's the extraction chip.
Nope.
Again. My decrepit heart is pounding. This one is stronger than the rest. Lock the area down. This tender is mine.
Quick, get to the console and release the lockdown. Do that, and I will guide you to your old ship. It's your only chance.
I kind of thought it was going to introduce you to hacking right there. I was
The
mistaken.
Queens want to destroy you, but I need to know more.
Oh. You'll learn later that a hallway similar to this one here is very important to the game, and if you watch any of the shit I do, you'll learn from me, most likely, if you don't play the game yourself to that point before I do. Obviously the gun. And this is just because this is his full set of shit. I think I'm going to switch the colors back. I really just wanted to see how it would look if I kind of just threw him on like that. I hate it, though. Like, of the color options, this was the best one. But until I get better customization, this is probably the worst customization option. It's not the time for me to customize until later in the game. So until we get to later in the game, you will not see any customization from me, or if you do, not very much. I really wish you could kill those things, but you can't. So this is the best character to start the game with. He doesn't come. You don't even be able to. You aren't even able to really get his like you can get those other characters pretty early in the game, but this particular character is kind of late. This is what introduces you to hacking. And obviously, I said earlier, I wouldn't really do story, but
Is that you?
Enemy reinforcements are here. Ship Cephalon. We require immediate extraction.
Anyway, this really isn't like optional for me.
I will need a few moments to cycle the engines.
Tender.
If it was optional, I obviously wouldn't be doing it, but
You cannot hide from these old eyes. I've marked you. You will return to me.
I go and check it out. Yeah. So this kind of shows you a bunch of different, how the game is going to play, or a bunch of different missions in one, basically. This is a defense type mission. And they're not as long as they're going to be later, but it kind of just introduces you to the game. And it's a really, in my personal opinion, this was a really good way for them to introduce people to the game, especially new players who didn't play since the beginning of time. Because at that point it was a much weirder, a different introduction from what I've been told by someone who also hasn't played since the beginning, but has played longer than me. So, of course, I trust them. Crap. Kill yourself. Thank you. Alright, well, there's my ship. And with that, that is the introduction to the game.
Hey, you. Yeah, you. Friend, you like deals?
We don't know him yet. Why the fuck is he here now? Anyway, thanks for the 50 cryotic to start me off, apparently. Don't worry about that later. I don't really need
For
it.
this old technology,
Ever.
it is superior to theirs. Perhaps there are systems left in the orbiter compartment?
Also to acquire credits at double the rate.
This madness. Those savages. Components have been removed. The lower orbiter compartments have no life support. Why did the operator abandon me?
Cool, I get a free ephemera and glyph. Not from
Arsenal
starting, but
management
because
could
of the
be
end.
restored if the operator wishes it.
If you can't already tell, I basically can't do shit. I'm still story locked right now. If I can't interact with anything, I'm story locked. So even when it's no longer technically story locked, I'm going to unlock all the ship's features and functions and shit, because if I don't, it fucks with my head mostly. This room will be very important. It'll be the first important room until you realize that we do end up having to go through this room eventually, but that's way later. And this room will also end up being important. I already have a segment I can install, apparently, so... Alright, cool.
You honor Ordis. Now I can supply the operator with better monitored firepower. Oh, the violation. Those have been looted as well.
We need to figure out what Captain Vor has done to you and stop him, but we'll need help. I found a communication segment we might salvage for your ship. When you are ready, activate your navigation system.
Ordis hopes the operator will punish the Grineer for dismantling it.
Okay, so now that they're done talking and interrupting me, basically, this is the very impressive list of characters that eventually should all be gotten on this particular account. Some of these are harder to get than others. They will all eventually be gotten, as I have said before. Some of them are newer, some of them are older. Obviously, you probably don't know which ones are which, but that doesn't really matter. If you look here, this was technically one of the options, but it wasn't the Mark 1 version that was an option. The Mark 1 version is actually weaker, and it used to be what you'd pick up, but for some reason they changed that. I don't know why. But for maxing out the game, I will need to buy that at some point. Obviously, I only have 3,000. That costs a little more than what I have, and so do these two things. So these weapons are... All of these weapons here are the only ones that are not currently mastery locked. And there's a lot of these that I'm looking at the names of, and I have quite a few of these. So, or I've used quite a few of these at least. But see, that's not the point. The point is what's going on up here. This is a shotgun. This is a bow. I'll eventually get those and level them up, and I'll level this one up. But we're not there yet. And same with the Mark 1 Furus and the Kunai, Mark 1 Kunai. Because this is credits. This is in-game currency. The Platinum is out-of-game currency. So this is a pretty neat gun later on, and honestly, I thought that this was a later-to-come weapon, because most of these you don't even get the ability to get till way fucking later, so maybe I'm just wrong on that front, and I just don't have them, or, like, it just took me too long to get them. But eventually, you'll get... Where is it at? This, which, if you recognize the name, this gun... This gun and the first gun that I have already are the same exact thing, except this is 2. So it's dual wielding. And it's kind of cool. But I need to be Mastery rank 3, and I need to get another one, and it's just kind of a whole thing. And then we have the Skana. The Skana, and we have a lot more available to start with here. I can tell you that right now. So these are the two things you can get here, the bow and the Firax. So if you'll notice, there's one thing that you couldn't choose that is here for credits. But fucking, you can pretty much get anything, because I can buy this blueprint later on, and then once I get those materials, I can make this. That's kind of surprising, because those are really easy to get materials, actually. Then some of these are, like, shocking to me because I kind of forgot how they made the game these past couple of years because it hasn't affected me the way they've been doing certain things. But anyway, this is a boomerang. I kind of forgot that existed. But yeah, so these are fun. And then, as you can see here, the Dual Skana is not level locked, but it is more expensive than what I can personally afford in-game credits, in-game buy currency that must be bought. Fuck, I don't know, the fucking platinum. Anyway, I'm going to appearance off this bitch, because ugly as hell, in my opinion. That's better. Alright. And now he matches his guns and everything. But I do want to show you something a little funny, the way they did their game, because if you copy the Warframe's colors, I kind of think that's hilarious. So, same with the gun, or the pistol. This one doesn't do it wrong, but it actually kind of looks cool. Like, I personally like the Parazon looking like the character I use, even though you don't ever really see it for more than like 2 seconds. It shouldn't need customizations, but you know, whatever. No companion, but these are some of the companions you can get. I say some of the because these are not even close to being the limit of what you can get. And when I say not even close, I mean not even remotely close. Like, these are just a few, and there's actually here alone. No, I guess there's not. Never mind. I wasn't seeing Worm at first. I thought he was one that you had to get later. Anyway, you could eventually get these same way you get most things. Buy their blueprint and make them. Um, buy the blueprint and make it. That kind of thing. So, just that kind of thing. And I do got to take this phone call, so if you will, excuse me, please. Alright, I'm back. So, like I have said before, like I was saying, buy the blueprint, make the character. This one's not so simple. See, that says Energy Lab. Yeah, I'm gonna need to eventually go to a dojo. Now, I'm not gonna get in with my dad's dojo. No, no, no. I'm gonna do it the old-fashioned way and be like, "Hey, I'm a new player. I need a dojo." Or wait till someone like I'm gonna do that the chat because I can't make one because I don't know how. But anyway, this was one you can just kind of buy and make. This one you have to get the blueprint from Fortuna, which I'll let you know. I'll tell you guys what that is later. You'll figure it out if you don't already know. This one you actually need parts for. I think you might have needed parts for the last one too, but this can be found. Wait, hold on. The Nautilus blueprint and necessary construction resources can be found inside ice mines around Neptune Proxima. Okay, well, see, that's kind of cool. No, most of those words just now probably make 0 sense to any new player, and might not even make that much sense to any old players. So, to be honest, that's just a very confusing sentence. I understand what it means. I'm not going to explain shit, though. We're gonna let y'all figure that out. Or I'm gonna let y'all figure that out. Why is there green? I don't know. Anyway. So, this is something I can't not do. Like I said, I'm story locked at the moment. I have to do this. Like, see, I can't even, like, hover over anything else. This isn't even technically start of the goddamn planet. I have to do this. This is the only way for me to fucking continue the game. So, that being said, let's get started. Oh. Ah. I've only been here for half an hour. I still have half an hour left on this current video. I may make multiple parts per play session, and you'll know whether or not it's the same play session, but, I'm gonna try not to be in the middle of anything when it ends so that I can just immediately start it. The next one.
The segment you need is in a nearby data vault. Infiltrate the vault and retrieve the segment.
Okay, so this is the first attempt at a spy mission.
Working, breaking through. I see the shadows of your mind.
Anyway, now that he's done fucking being a bitch,
This data vault is equipped with a variety of security measures. How you defeat those measures is up to you.
this is, so, you know, like I said, this is a new count and shit, but, this is a spy mission, and spy missions, well, I'll show you the specialty about them in a second. But you see how there's only one vault? Yeah, in most there's 3. And these you can do by choice later on. And they are one of the most efficient ways to gain levels. So that's fun. My most efficient way to gain levels is to progress through the planets and get new characters, that kind of thing. I'm just kind of doing everything as it needs to happen. If I come up to something and I'm like, okay, I'm not high enough level for that, and my mods are not good enough to make me essentially high enough level for that, I'm just gonna say fuck it and not do that, but instead I'm gonna go grind and get better shit.
The target console is nearby.
So
If you trigger the alarms now, the enemy will start
go ahead
destroying
and read that
data.
if you care. If you care at all, go ahead and read that, but I personally don't care because I've read it before. It's been very bad. Okay, nope, fuck that. That's not what I meant to do. Okay, how do you do this one? Oh, backstab. Alright. Usually there's like a secret way to open a secret door and get in from like the ceiling, and you don't just go through the door directly. This is that secret ceiling thing I was telling you about. I'm going to show you the way that you're supposed to get in, and that's we're doing this. And every vault has those. There's ways to avoid every little thing that you could possibly think of needing to avoid. But you come over here. Oh, fuck, this is slow.
Excellent work.
You hack the console. And, well, I've officially done my first ever vault.
Head to extraction.
So, let's continue.
As every moment passes, the Ascaris burrows deeper, revealing you.
I'm just gonna leave, say fuck that guy. We are gonna say kill these guys though, because killing noobs is kind of fun and also kind of the point of the goddamn game. So, like I said, I played this again. I played this game before. This isn't new for me. It's just new for you if you haven't played this game. And like I said, this is probably the one and only video you don't want to tune in to see the progress on. Because again, it's pretty much just going to be doing the basic shit, because that takes a little more than an hour, actually, so... Anyway, damn, can I hit something? Thank you. So the maps are randomized, but I don't know if the story locked maps are, and I know some of the story locked maps aren't. But like, this is a not necessarily a story map, and what I mean by that is the story locked maps that I'm referring to. Things that happen, like you're in the story. This is the only place you get to visit. This is the only time you get to visit this particular place is through the story. Now you see that dropped something, but my goal is always to try and grab whatever the fuck that drops.
Another job well executed.
Retrig 2 on any Warframe, cool. That's some bonus shit right there. But yeah, I pretty much gave all of my weapons a decent amount of love, and you see that Exalted Blade? Yeah, I'm gonna show you what the fuck that is in a minute. Hopefully I'll be able to. Maybe I won't. I don't know yet. It has something to do with his fourth ability, I can tell you that. Oh, we can exit now.
Operator Void Cloak engaging. Welcome back, Operator. The Operator has recovered a segment.
Install it now.
Ordis patiently awaits its installation. Systems engaging.
I suppose this will do.
Ordis is grateful.
Get communications online. I must analyze what Vor's Ascaris is doing to your Warframe. This technology is beyond the Grineer. It must be Corpus in origin.
This is training missions, so if you just don't know how to do things, or you need a recap ever, just go through here.
Scumbags. Contact arms dealers.
So yeah.
Excellent idea, Ordis. Tenno, we need to make contact with a Corpus defector sympathetic to the Tenno cause. They will, of course, require compensation.
You see what Ordis is referring to, Operator?
In this case, compensation will not be credits. It will be freedom. I've updated navigation. You will need to break him out of a Grineer gulag.
I don't want to throw you guys on the Q&A chat, but I can't turn the chat off, unfortunately. But you can look at the selling and buying chat, because no one gives a shit about that. So anyway. Can't really do much of shit here. Really, honestly, you can't really do anything at all. Apparently you can access the market already. This is what I mean by I'm not going to be buying things in the market. So I might eventually need to dabble in getting some more weapon slots, getting some more Warframe slots. That might end up happening. But as far as things like buying this, no. I'm going to make this. I'm not going to buy this. Build requirements. Fuck. Anyway. Build requirements. You achieve it. You obtain it from the Tenno Lab. So not going to buy things like that. I'm going to do that the way you're supposed to do that. And basically my goal is to not spend a single dollar on this game, because obviously I really can't spend a single dollar on this game. Oh, that's cool. I get a color palette for free, pretty much. So I could buy these, but neither of these stay. So I'm not going to buy these, if that makes sense. Basically, apparently I have a thing. Oh no, these items are just on sale. I could buy Goss's animation set. I could buy the smoke palette or the fire palette, but those are 60 each. I'm not gonna I'm trying not to waste my 50 like right out of the gate, and obviously it's not like gonna be that hard to control, but that's a $5 starter pack. We don't care, though. So yeah, this is the introduction to the market. And yes, you can spend real-world and in-game money in there. You'll see me visit the market mostly for blueprints as time goes on. But until then, you won't really know much else. Now, this is Liberate the Imprisoned Arms Dealer. That's a rescue mission. This is a rescue mission. That's what we're doing here. But again, still story locks. And I think there's a couple of these that I have to do outside of actually being story locked. But I won't be doing that. Now, they move things around because you used to have to go through Cetus to get to the Mars Junction, and you have to get to the Mars Junction before you can get to the Venus Junction. That's actually how you get to the other planets. I'm going to go ahead and show you what that means. Yeah, the other planets. And there's actually 2 missing. 3. There's actually 3 missing. That you just don't get to see yet. I'm gonna go ahead and zoom out here. I'm gonna let you figure out what could be considered funny and why it could be considered funny. I'm not gonna say it ever out loud, but yeah. So that's fun. And then if you think hard enough about it, there's 2 things that could be considered funny here. So, you know, think hard about it if you care. I don't want public on, actually. I want solo on so that I can actually pause the game. Because public this early is kind of stupid, in my opinion. No reason for it, honestly, and if there was, why? So, I am gonna have to do, I think, all of the Vor's Prize quest. And eventually, to be able to unlock and do all of the planet progression, I will have to get a little ways into the story. But like I said, I will have to do that like as late in the game as possible, basically. And then there's still more story after the point that I have to get to. Like, quite a bit more story once I get to the point that I'm talking about. Because I did just realize that I will probably need to do quite a bit of story after a certain point. Quite a bit of story, quite a bit of side quests, all are just going to happen at some point. Everything is going to happen. And I did get a recommendation that maybe I should make another account to where I don't collect anything, I just stick with the basic things that you start with, and, you know, mods and stuff. And we'll get into mods later, but...
I see the shadows of your mind.
Don't let Vor distract you. Focus on the mission. It's our only hope of figuring out this link with Captain.
So anyway... So I wouldn't use the loadout that I'm currently using. I have a much different loadout for, like, in mind for that particular plan. Because it's something that I can use more efficiently, basically. And this is efficient, but later in the game, he kind of gets... Him and his base starting weapons are kind of not the best to just have at late game. And it's going to be a lot more difficult doing just story with nothing but what you get during the story. but I will have the ability to use things that I get during the story because I'm going to have to use it for the story, so why not use it after the story a little bit too. And with that being said, there is a couple things that will need to be done at a certain point, if memory serves me right, to be able to be able to actually get to a certain part in the story. I need to do certain progressions. And those progressions are going to happen first in this game, because like I said, collection of everything, I mean everything. We're going to go for most of the most of the planetary completion being done first, before we do much anything else, but we will do quite a lot.
By the warden, it may be easier to get Darvo out. Bypass the security so we can enter.
Areas, fortified, survey the area. You know what? Fucking why would I deal with all that? When I know my time restraint, and I know that I have more than enough time. There we go.
Search these cells for
Usually
Darvo.
this one.
He has to be here somewhere.
Yeah, I don't think this would actually change. Now, usually you'll be able to give them a weapon. This is not the case.
Extraction is ready. Remember, their success here depends on getting Darvo out of there, alive.
Now, I usually say, fuck whoever I'm escorting, they can run fast enough. Once I get to extraction, they don't need to be next to me. But I should clear a little bit of the area that we're in here, because it's kind of a dangerous spot. Let's go, Darvo. Let's fucking go, bitch. If it's a dense enemy location...
The Ascaris has
Well,
burrowed
that's amazing.
deep enough to give me influence. Shall we see how your shields work?
The Ascaris is letting Vor control your shield. We must figure out how to remove it. Avoid taking damage while I try and block him.
So this entire game, basically, this entire part of the story is basically, like, getting your systems back, being able to actually do all of your Warframe functions and shit. It's tutorialistic, but in a fun way. You unlock things by unlocking them, like physically going out and grabbing the pieces you need to be able to unlock them, kind of thing, rather than just kind of being thrown into the deep end. And I like these missions for that reason.
Let's get out of here.
So look at that. Look at the amount of new mods I just got. We're gonna have some fun with mods. And I believe, yep, that's the segment, that is actually the segment I just got. So yes, you finally get to see what mods do and why they're so fucking important, and I cannot stress that enough. Mods are probably one of the most important parts of this game. Sure, weapons are cool, and some weapons are better than other weapons at the base. But mods help it to where, mods make it to where sometimes you just don't need to care about that. So, let's go ahead and pop that in there.
Operator, I've linked the mod segment to your arsenal now. No need to thank me.
Upgrade your Warframe now.
Go to the arsenal to see the weapon upgrade options you have.
So, we're still unable to use that ATM, meaning we are still locked, story locked.
Ordis patiently
We cannot avoid
compliance
story locks.
using
Once
the
we're
new
story locked,
arsenal
we're fucking
features.
story locked,
It
no way
is
out.
for the operator's own good.
And that's fine, we'll run into that a few times during this. Hopefully this takes like a year or so, maybe a little longer. That would be kind of fun, right? I have 10 minutes left on this video, so I'm not going to actually go do the next mission yet.
Ordis patiently awaits compliance.
But I
using the
am...
new
Shut
arsenal
the fuck
features.
up, okay?
It is for the
I'm working
operator's
on
own
it,
good.
shut up!
Isn't it beautiful, operator? The complex web of variables and
off.
synergies. Oh, the possibilities are endless!
Possibilities aren't shit
Modding may
yet.
seem a tad overwhelming, but everything will soon make sense. Install the mod before we can continue.
Continuity, ability duration, ability strength. We want ability strength because he doesn't have ability durations very much. And then we do want... We pretty much want everything, but I wanted to figure out what needed to be, like, what needed to go on the things. And I believe that I'm unable to... I believe that I'm currently actually
Thanks
unable
for
to...
helping me
Shut the
out back there.
fuck
I'm in
up.
debt, and I often pay my debts. I recognize that device. It's a parasitic restraint. We Corpus use something similar to keep our robotics in line. So, to settle
So
my
I'm going
debt,
to
I give you a
try to
very expensive
upgrade
blueprint.
my
For free. Because I like you.
shield
And well,
mod.
a lot of my customers don't live long with
Okay,
little
so I don't have
handouts
Endo
chewing
yet.
up the system.
You'll soon learn why Endo is
Here,
important. As you can
use
see
your foundry to
here,
build a
to get the mod
countermeasure
to
device
max
for this
rank, I
blueprint.
need that many credits
Good
and that
luck.
many Endo. Neither of those are very hard to come by if you know what you're doing.
Vor's Ascaris is burrowing
But,
into your warframe. I'm worried it will affect your mind. I can't lose you, Tenno. We must restore the ship's foundry immediately. A nearby ore extraction colony will have the foundry technology you need. I am certain they will share it with you. Its location has been added to your navigation console.
But anyway, it also takes up space on, like, how much it costs to literally hold it on you, or hold it to your Warframe. And you can see up here the shields and health and shit like that. Like, I'm upgrading it all and stretch his ability range, so that's cool. Because I didn't explain that. We don't really have abilities with duration, I don't believe. Um, well, I guess Radial Blind does, but, some sort of pure light and immense power. Basically, when we get this, I didn't know it did that, but that's kind of cool. When we get this later and we're able to use this fourth ability, which will help us in a lot of situations, you'll notice that uh, what am I trying to say, man? Anyway, so I'm gonna sort of pure light and that's power. So it blinds. It does the blind effect. I don't know why I'm stuttering so fucking much right now. I'm sorry. Um, what am I at time-wise? It's almost about to tell me that I'm running out of time, which we already knew. So this is an hour-long video, and it is the first of this series. In this play session, I can tell you right now, I will be making it very clear. I'm gonna make this very clear. I will be making a second video in this current play session, at least a second video. Depending on my time, I may not get the full hour's length like I am with this video. And I might cut this video early if I run out of shit to say, but in reality, I'm never going to run out of shit to say about this game. It's one of my favorite games ever, so, you know, hopefully I don't ever run out of anything to say about it. And yes, I'm just upgrading damage, and I'm aware of that, but it's all I have to work with. This one, I can use Toxin Cold, which is going to do something really cool, and you'll see what I mean in a second. One mod, but two makes it a completely different status effect. Now, I could just have Cold, or I could just have Toxin. But I basically end up using all three of those. I use Viral Cold and Toxin all at the same time. So, and that is important, and you'll see why for way later in the game, that'll come into play as very, very fucking important. I do not believe I have any Parazon mods. None of your mods are compatible with this weapon. Visit the mods menu, look at that. As I have just said, but the Parazon is kind of cool. It does some cool shit later when we can actually use it. And technically we already do, actually. Every time we hack a console, that's what this is used for. And it's used for doing something else kind of cool, but we'll get into that later. Like I said, not going to do the next mission in this video, but if you would like to tune into the next video, I will be doing more in this current play session that I have going at the moment. Things I will learn later on, we'll get to that later. There will be a lot of things that I learn and a lot of things that you learn, so we're kind of learning together after a certain point. But for most of the beginning of the game, I kind of know the best ways to, like, effectively do some of this shit. And getting everything, again, I will have to do some side quests. I might have to do some story quests to unlock those side quests. So doing that is going to be the most ridiculous fucking really got to do that kind of sort of thing. But in in reality, it's not really that big of a deal. This over here, there will be something there later. Relics. Do we have this segment unlocked yet? Void Relic console offline segment required. I didn't even know that we needed a segment for the relics. Ha, ha, ha. Anyway, I believe next is the Foundry segment. Yes. And we are going to love the Foundry segment. I will go ahead and end the video here. But like I said, I'll see you all in the next video. If you don't care to continue this series, well, I kind of feel bad for you. Maybe you'll find it again and realize, oh shit, I'm missing out on a lot of stuff. Who knows? I'm not expecting this to be a game that you care about at all. But if you've watched this far, thank you. And liking and or subscribing would be very, very kind of you. I'm not going to be a beggar, but it would be fun to stream this, and I can't do that until 50 subs, so keep that in mind. And then I won't have a time limit, and I can still upload that as an actual, like, video that you can go back and watch the full 3.5-hour video clip or whatever. But we don't really care about that right now. What we care about the most is just simply the fact that this video was able to exist and the fact that I had the idea for it. And this will be a fun series, in my opinion. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and end the video now. I'll catch you all in the next video.